Hey, want to see how my student Sam went from zero to $16,000 a month as a freelance copywriter in 8 months? Make sure you watch until the very end because Sam actually reveals the exact strategy that he used to sign some pretty big clients. So let's go. Yeah, dude, Sam, really appreciate you taking the time today, man. I am writing a book, as you know. Just want to feature you in it, show you off, make you famous. I want to make this thing a damn bestseller. So
Yeah, no,
that's cool with you. Then
you will, bro. You're Sean Ferris, man. Everything. You got the Midas touch, my bro.
That's the one, man. I try. Yeah. So if we can rewind a little bit to even before like CMB and before all of that, I just wanted to like kind of cover where you were before you joined us in CMB, your journey through CMB, and then kind of out the other side and where you are today. You know, just to give a bit of backstory, like how did you even get into the whole copywriting, freelancing, entrepreneurship like journey? Like where did that kind of begin for you?
So to rewind back a little bit further into that, I've always kind of been into entrepreneurship. Since I was, 16, 17, I went to pretty much an all boys school. I had no skill with girls, etc. Like, I think most of us get into this whole world through lack of ability to talk to girls. So you start off with, RSD, all that kind of stuff. So I started there too, man. And as I progressed, that sphere goes hand in hand with internet marketing, because a lot of those guys were like learning internet marketing at the time. It was like this new buzz and this laptop lifestyle. So I kind of got drawn into that, learning about, Grant Cardone, and, like I started off with the big funnel, the big guys.
Yeah.
And then I started off with a Shopify. I tried a whole bunch of different stuff, but I failed in a whole bunch of things. When I say failed, it's because I didn't really put much effort into it. It was just like, oh, damn, it didn't work. And then, I'd go back to it.
Try it for like 3 weeks. And you're like, all right, that didn't work. Next thing. Yeah.
My whole life turned around, bro. I had everything given to me. So there was a little pain period in between where I was just learning self-development because I had no skills, right? I had nothing. I had everything given to me my whole life. So I got my first ever full-time job when I was 25 years old. Fast forward, in my full-time job, I was like, this is shit. I can't afford anything. At the end of every single month, I'm scrambling. I have negative £20 in my bank. And month after month, I have to ask my parents for about £20 to £50, which they didn't even have. But somehow they managed to make it work, right? So this was quite embarrassing to me. And I was just like, look, man, I need a way to make money. And I was so frustrated. At this period of time, I was actually living in a small little room. In the UK, you have something called HMO. So they take a 3-bedroom apartment and they individually turn them into rooms. Each room is for a different person. So I was actually living, and I didn't know this at the time, with a drug dealer. So when I'd go into my kitchen, I'd find cocaine on my knife, which I would take out to eat food with. We had a cockroach infestation in my bathroom. We had a rat running around the house that was living in the walls. So imagine this, right? If I was chilling with my girlfriend was living with me this entire time. So she stuck by me. She had a 5-bedroom house with her uncles at the time, but she wanted to, stay with me. And imagine this. This is what it was like for me to go to the bathroom at night, right? I had to take a hygiene spray and my own toilet paper, because if I left toilet paper there, nobody would buy it in the whole house and I'd just be rinsed off toilet paper. I had to take a spray because everyone in the house was so unhygienic. I had to take a antiseptic spray and spray the seat and wipe all the piss and all that shit. Yeah. Then I had to take a broom because if that rat was there, which 7 out of 10 times it would be in the corridor at night eating out of the bin that we'd kind of put there sometimes. So I'd get a shock from, and then as soon as I'd go into the toilet, I'd have to take my phone light and see if there's any cockroaches. Bro, this was the life I lived, man, for a year.
Dude.
Right? Swear to God. So as you can imagine, I was breaking down inside mentally. I was just like, something needs to change. And it's funny because in CMB, you talk about having the fire under your chair, right? So I don't think I've ever had a better fire under my chair to get the fuck out of the situation. So at this time, my girlfriend was watching Mad Men, and she said, Sam, I think you'd be pretty good at, this type of stuff. Like, you're quite creative, you know how to talk well. I think you'd be, pretty good doing this. So I looked into it. I'm like, well, what is it? And then I typed in Mad Men and I saw an article that talked about copywriting. So I YouTubed copywriting. And at this time, do you know who Alex Catoni is?
Yeah, she has a pretty huge YouTube following with in the whole copy space. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that time, she was actually just starting her YouTube channel. So she's grown since a lot since then. So she started it, and I had no idea what copywriting was. So I watched her videos and stuff, and she was launching her course, the first ever Copy Posse Launchpad, which was her thing. And at that point, that's when I joined it, because I needed to learn how to do copy before I sold copy, right? Because CMB was, for me, was my second step, because I'm like, okay, like how do I find clients for this thing now? So the first step was learning how to do copywriting. I was actually lucky enough to be Alex's star student. At that point, I just learned how to write copy. I worked my ass off, man, because my back was so hard against the wall. I'd come home at 6:30 from my full-time job, and I would work my absolute ass off until 12 o'clock at night, just learning how to do this. And it took me a while to put it together. In my 5th week, I got my first client, and this was on Fiverr. So before I even knew how to get a client. So my first job was to write a website. The way I did it, I charged 1K from a guy off Fiverr. That was the first ever £1,000 I'd ever charged in my life. The way I got to that number is I asked him, if one person clicks that call to action button, how much would you earn? So because he was a coder, it was anywhere between 8K and 42K. So that was like, okay, so if I charge you 1,000 and you have one person click that call to action button, you can either 8X to 42X my ROI. So when I said that, he was like, when you put it like that, I guess that kind of makes sense. So there we did it, got an awesome testimonial from him. And then I kind of wanted to know, how do I make this grow a little bit more? Enter Mr. Ferres, enter CMB. Use the John Bushnan email sequence. I listed my dream 100 clients. I outsourced the data mining to a guy on Fiverr. And, I had another mentor, Christian, who also helped me, but then CMB kind of solidified the entire process and made it super clear to me about how to go from A to Z. At that point, I started to send out these John Bushnan emails. And eventually, I would get a lot of horrible replies, people telling me to fuck off and whatnot. But in the end, Stephen James got back to me.
Nice.
It was on the 4th email, by the way. So out of a 7-part email series, Stephen got back to me on the 4th one. And he said, hey, I'm open to have a talk. Let's see. I'm open to just have a chat with you and see what you're capable of. Jumped on a call with him. And to be honest, man, when I went on the call with him, I just had a genuine conversation. Like I just had a normal chat with him. I used a lot of the fundamentals in CMB, etc., and just try to figure out, where he's at, learn about his business, and like you say, like leave your wallet at home type of conversation, just to learn how I can help him. So we vibed really well, and he wanted to give me a shot. So he started me off with a 6-part email sequence, and obviously at this point I've been practicing from Alex's course on how to actually write copy, and I produced a really awesome 6-part email sequence according to him. And ever since then, he loved it so much. He referred me to his fiancée, Tatiana James, who's also a massive YouTuber in the space, who primarily does Amazon FBA. She earns about 400K a month with Amazon FBA. And it's mad.
Not just a pretty face.
Yeah. So she's very smart. She does influencer marketing as well. So she has 5 revenue streams. It's crazy. She's an affiliate for the Amazing Selling Machine, which is a course she sells. She does e-com herself. So she's not a charlatan. She actually crushes it on her own. She does investing, a whole bunch of stuff. So he referred me to her. I wrote her email sequences, and she loved it too. So ever since then, that's been ongoing. I have a 3rd client, which I got, which is social media copy, as well as it's kind of like full stack copy, but I don't have to do a whole load every single month. It's just sporadic stuff. But that's kind of my story in a nutshell. So 15th of August, 2019, I got my first job, and the exact date, I can show you my tenancy agreement. The 15th of August, 2020, I moved here into my first ever 1-bedroom apartment, bang in central London, right at Lancaster Terrace, 1 stop away from Marble Arch and Bond Street, bang in the center as you can be. And look, man, I've got my own little living room, which I've never had in my whole life. But dude, it's amazing. To be able to be you came from the gulag, man. Literally.
Came from the ghetto, bro.
Came from the ghetto, bro. But that's sick.
That's so sick, man. That's such a crazy story in terms of do you remember where or how you first heard of me?
Yeah, it was when I saw one of your ads, bro. It was like, hey, UK freelancers. And I'm like, who's this guy? I'm a UK copywriter, and I want to learn how to get some clients. Hey, fam. Yeah, literally that one. So I've never stopped seeing that ad since, bro. I can still see it almost every single day. But dude, I saw it. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I like this guy's energy. I don't know what it is. Dude, I've been sold to 1,000 times on my copywriter. I sell things to people, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Something about this guy just seems genuine. It just seems like he knows what he's talking about, and he radiates something I can't put my finger on. So dude, we had a little conversation. I was like, man, I want to learn to do what this guy does. And as I got into your sphere, as I started to follow you on Instagram, I saw all the value that you added through social media. And I was like, you know what? Like, not only do I want to learn from this guy, like I aspire to be this guy's friend at some point when I get to a level to be able to do that. And this is me being real. Like I was like, man, I'd love to be part of his circle, just because for me, one thing that I struggle with at this moment working from home is it's hard to find people around you who kind of want the same thing. It's very difficult. And I'm not working a job, you know, I've got all my friends from before, but you know, they're not all of them are on that same wavelength. I feel like some of them are, you know, like I don't shit on anyone's trade, right? But just people who are not making that extra step to go further. But yeah, dude, I just liked your vibe. I liked your energy. I liked everything that you put out, you know. And yeah, I was just like, man, I wanna work with this dude.
Yeah, that's sick, man. That's really cool. In terms of like CMB itself, if you had to pick 2 or 3 things that come to mind from CMB that have been the most helpful, impactful, useful, insightful for you, is there anything that comes to mind?
So I think the first thing, man, is definitely the whole light the fire under your chair analogy, because I think that was the thing that kind of helped me boost, you know, the most. I think you've got to be uncomfortable to get to a place of comfort. And even now, as I sit here, I try to think, how can I apply this same principle? How can I make myself a bit more uncomfortable now so I can get to the next level? It's like you want to test your boundary. Like, who am I? What can I become? Right? So when you get to 20K,
like, where's my potential? You know, like how far can I go?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And like, you know, I've just and proving to yourself that you can get to that 10K mark, it just opens this door in your brain. It's just like, whoa, like, you know, what else can I do, man? So yeah, I think that's a key thing. A second thing, man, the resources that you put. So the John Bushnell sequence, the general resources, even about writing copy. I think those resources are absolutely golden. I think third thing, the community, man, and also having Ray on board. Fucking love Ray. I think he's such an awesome dude.
Yeah, Ray's I love Ray. Yeah.
You guys together make an incredible combo, and just your energy, man, your positivity, the things that you got, like you guys are like a hand. It's like if I know I'm fucking up, I know I can reach out to you and I can be like, yo, like I need some help, and I know that you guys will be there to kind of push me up. So it's about being part of a group where you have accountability. You have a whole bunch of people who are trying, asking good questions, sharing their success stories, and Nico, you know, learning new things. So you're part of this group where you're hyper learning at all times. So yeah, just being part of this community that you've created in CMB, I feel really adds value to my life in so many different ways, man. That is
really cool to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack said verbatim exactly the same thing. Like, dude, literally, I think I've done 14 of these calls, and like 12 out of 14 people have said the Facebook group was like the most useful thing. Kind of having a group of people going through it with you, I think is really, really inspiring. Kind of everyone raising each other up. Jack's story was pretty crazy too. He had recently had a newborn son, and his wife was on maternity leave, and he had 4 clients in March. In the space of 2 days, lost half of them, and so his 2 clients were paying him his monthly bills plus £16. So he was like 16 pounds over the breadline basically, and it was like a fucking stressful time for him. So yeah, I think you guys are definitely in the same boat in terms of the fire under us. Yeah. Anything else besides that comes to mind at all?
I think a lot of the mindset stuff as well. Productivity, right? So like writing for one client per day and just having a full day for your clients, right? I think that's one of the things that changed my entire life productivity wise, because what I was previously doing is I was doing, okay, like 2 hours on one client, 2 hours on another client, 2 hours on a third client, all in one day. And then after a while, it's like you realize you have to do a lot of mental shifts because you have to know this guy's top funnel. Oh, it's crazy. So when I started to implement that one client, have a day where you focus on a client, I think that completely changed my productivity. And it allowed me to do like 10 emails a day, like batching. Like I learned how to batch basically like really well. I think batching was a game changer for me, man, in terms of like output, being able to have that free time and not just write all the time. And quitting video games, dude, that completely, that was one of the best things. I'm an avid World of Warcraft fan. So hardest decision was to uninstall it, but I realized that it was always lingering somewhere in my brain. Like I always wanted to play. I'd just be like, instead of putting that extra couple of hours in, I'm like, okay, I just want to play a bit of WoW. End up playing like 4 or 5 hours after work in a day.
Yeah, of course, nothing wrong with having fun.
I can't control it, bro.
in
bro.
moderation and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if it's taking up like 6 hours a day, then yeah, that's probably a problem.
My beast doesn't get fed, bro. He wants a feast, bro. He wants a fiesta, man. Like
That's cool. Cool, man. Yeah, so we talked about obviously where you were before, during, what's helped you the most. Let's talk about life after CMB. I know it hasn't been very long at all. You joined us in what, July? So that means you would have finished the program in what, September, something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, cool. So between September and now, it's only been 3 months, but what's the journey kind of been like for you in terms of, actually, you signed a client on like day one or some shit, didn't you? It was like, I remember it was very, very early. Like literally when I sent you the welcome voice message, you were like, hey, by the way, just signed a client. Obviously that wasn't anything to do with CMB because you hadn't learned anything yet, but
yeah.
that was still cool. It's like technically first like hour of CMB, you signed a client or something.
Yeah, life after. So at the moment, man, I've quit my full-time job. So that's absolutely fantastic. That's one of the biggest highlights of my life. This was just last month.
What were you doing again? What was your job?
So I was in sales, man. I was a cold caller. So I used to cold call about 60 to 100 businesses with a turnover of over 25 million. And I used to cold call their finance directors directly. I had to go past the gatekeeper. I learned a lot in my sales job. That kind of helped me, speak, sell, all that kind of stuff.
Did you enjoy it or did you hate your job?
Did I enjoy it? No, dude, I fucking hated it. And the thing is, it's very untraditional because I had an amazing boss. I had amazing colleagues. I just hated what I did and what I sold. I sold an FX platform. Do you know how many FX companies there are, man? It's like when a finance director picks up your phone, the first thing he says is this another FX call? Because he says, I shit you not, in a day, I get 10 FX calls.
Wow.
But It was quite rewarding. Because when you would actually get a meeting with someone, despite them getting 10 FX calls, you're just showing to yourself and him that you stand out from the crowd, right? But I just hated what I did. I didn't like the company as much. They would hold back commissions and not pay out commissions. And, we were told we were going to get 15K commission at the end of the year. I ended up making £300 despite closing properly and stuff. So it was just a bit like, I just felt like my life was in someone else's hands. And I just wanted to have my own time. I like to wake up, go to the gym, not feel like I'm in a rush or have someone down my throat all the time. Yeah, to elaborate on life after, man. So yeah, quit my job. Amazing. I've been able to travel. The UK went on lockdown while everyone else is here stuck having to do something. On that same 3 days after it was announced, I just booked a flight, me and my girlfriend, straight to Tenerife. Stayed over there. And then as soon as lockdown opened, I could come right back. It's allowed me to, as you can see, Alexa, turn my lights red. I don't know, hopefully this will work. So I've got like a Philips Hue system. So I have red lights in the evening.
I love it.
And it allowed me to add a lot of quality to my life, man. Like just things I never could afford.
Very cool. Very cool. So in terms of like clients, cash flow, everything like that, now you're around about the 10K.
Again, I'll be totally open with you.
Pounds or something.
I'm on retainer $3.5K per month. Although I'm not on retainer with her, she has frequent projects every month. So this month was again 3.5K. I have a client called she pays me $2.5K per month on retainer. So where are we at? 7, 8, 9 and something. And then I had another really short ad hoc stints for $300 where I just had to write some YouTube scripts. That was just because I just wanted to take anything I could to replace that full-time job income. And this month, one of my best buddies, I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is he wanted verification for a clothing brand. So yeah, I helped facilitate that. So it's like I smashed over 12K this month personally, but it will go up and down. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. But dude, that's crazy. That's so cool. Apart from like the money itself. So obviously, I mean, making 10K or whatever K a month is cool, but it's like the money itself doesn't change your life. It's like, what does that enable you to do? So in terms of like your day-to-day kind of level of freedom, stress levels, overall level of happiness and well-being, like how you feel every day, where your head's at, that kind of stuff. Like how would you say like reaching that level of success has actually impacted your like day-to-day life compared to before?
Dude, the impact that it's had is absolutely crazy. So there's two sides to this answer. Side number one, I can pretty much do whatever I like. When I first started, I had saved up about £1,000 or something like that. When I bought Alex's course, I had £2,100 in my bank. When I bought it for $2,000, I had £100 in my name, right? Move on, saved a bit of money, boom again, CMB, but I did the monthly payments and, I had to try and figure something out. But now I've got almost 20K saved up in pounds in my bank. I'm not a guy who spends a shit ton of money. So my lifestyle, I don't really go out much. Like I'm very like, I like to wake up, go to the gym, meditation, come here, own my space, learn new things. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to learning and trying to grow in business and stuff like that. But the time I do get, I can do whatever I like. Like literally, I don't bat an eye. If I go to a restaurant, I can order anything I want. Whereas before I'd have to check my bank, check this and check that. As you can see, I added like some cool lights to my house. I have the ability, within reason, of course, to buy whatever I like because I'm a simply pleased guy, man. I don't like, obviously I'm not talking about a Lamborghini and stuff like that. Those things potentially come later. Me personally, man, my life goal is instead of passive income, it's more passive impact. So passive income I want that I can use to create a passive impact. I want to build hospitals, schools, places of worship. I'm a man of religion myself. Like, just things that after I die, bro, people can still benefit from. And because of the work that I put in many, many years ago, that's what life's about to me. Having a Lamborghini, like that's all good. Who wouldn't like it? I'm not a liar, but that's not my sole focus, man. If that comes, it will only be when I have so much excess that I can do it. But my money I'd like it to be used in better places. So yeah, lifestyle, definite increase. Can do what I want. It's just cool to think that if I want to fly to Timbuktu right now, I can book a flight like to Timbuktu like right now and just go work there.
If I could fly anywhere right now, I would.
That's what I mean. Oh yeah, you're locked down.
Get me on the first fucking plane to anywhere. I don't care. Yeah. Afghanistan, let's go.
Yeah, bro. Also, man, the cool thing is it's now allowed me to look further into the future. It's allowed me to ask questions like, what can I do next? I want to reach that million mark like you too, man. It's fucking inspiring, dude. Like it's like, whoa, like you're so young and you fucking hit 1 million. Like if I had a hat, I'd take it off to you, man. But it's inspiring. It makes you think like, like, I wonder what I can do,
No reason at all you can't do the same, dude. I mean,
yeah, no, 100%. I just need to find the avenue, man. Like the thing is, like, I get pitched by a lot of people, and one of the guys like, dude, go into coaching. Coaching is great. And I kind of sit and I think to myself, I'm like, dude, I don't think I can create a better course than you or Alex in the realms of teaching people how to get clients or teaching people how to write copy. I don't think I can do it, honestly. And sometimes you have to be humble and just be like, look, what's out there is already the best. I think CMB is the best way for somebody to find a client. I think Alex's course is the best place, in my personal opinion, for someone to learn copy. That being said, I also bought, email domination. I've also bought RMBC method. I'm a guy who's always learning. Like I always like to sit down, learn new shit. I do all that stuff. But I think Stefan Georgi, Alex Cottoni, your course, you guys have got it covered, man.
Was there some particular outcome that you were looking for when you joined CMB? Like, did you just have sights set on 10K a month from the very beginning? Or was there some particular outcome that you had in mind in terms of number of clients or cash flow?
I did actually. So I have a full-on goal, and I don't know why, but 800 million is the goal that I personally want to reach. I have no idea why that's the bar I've set for myself, but I know that to earn 800 mil, I need to start by earning 10,000. And then from there, I need to learn how to make 20,000 a month and, so on until I can amass, 800 million as a net worth. So the first thing I needed to do was to get 10K, man. I was like, how the fuck do I get 10K?
Dude, that's crazy. I love that. I don't know if I'm the one that can show you how to hit 800 million. I haven't done it myself.
Sure you will, bro, by the way you're growing.
I mean, honestly, I'm going to say it's 1,000% possible. Like the things that I've witnessed this year alone, like Logan going from fucking homeless to 6 figures in 6 months.
Yeah.
Luca, a 16-year-old high school kid going from 0 to 10K a month in 25 days while he's still at school is just jaw dropping. So like nothing would surprise me at this rate, to be honest. Like with what's happened, fucking someone ate bat soup and like the whole world turns upside down. So like that's the world we live in, like literally anything.
That is the world we live in, man. We live in a crazy world.
It's a crazy world. When you were in that position, third question, looking to get help with the whole client getting side of things, when you were considering coaching or mentorships or joining a mastermind or getting help with this in some way, was there some element that it had to have?
The personal touch, the calls that you get on, the opportunity for me to actually jump on, have a conversation with you at an allocated time and ask all of the things that I have in my mind. That was it. And just a few questions. And as you can tell, like at that point, my questions are always like, dude, how do I expand? Like, dude, how do I grow? Like, how do I hire people? Do you remember, like, those are just always the same questions that I'd ask. So yeah, like just having that ability to ask yourself and Ray questions, that was golden. And I think the course on top of that is just an incredible bonus.
Yeah, awesome. You came into this already with some clients. So clearly you had some winning system or strategy or way to get clients like coming into this, right?
Yeah. I would cold email. I would put it into an automated email software like Lemlist. So I literally just plug everything in Lemlist and just kind of, it would do my sales for me while I was kind of chilling. And then people would eventually get back and like, yeah, that's how I kind of did the whole thing, man. So I didn't actually ever sit down and write my own emails and, send it out to people. I built a list of 100 companies that I wanted to work with. I went on Fiverr. I found a data miner and I said, please, I'll pay you $30 if you find me a list of names or whatever. Funny story as to how I got the leads, actually. There was a guy on Facebook, and these dodgy dudes who like sell people's courses for like $10 and shit.
Yeah.
So there was a guy who was like, hey, he posted on a group that I'm part of, and he's like, hey, I've got all these courses of all these people for $10. Here's my catalog. So I literally went on his catalog, and those were like, that was a fucking lead list, bro, because I like his catalog was a lead list to me. So I just got all of those names, put them in Excel. I told someone to find the email for them, and yeah, I would go on Lemlist. I would put John Bushnell's email sequence into Lemlist, and then I would press start campaign, and it would slowly drip the emails down, and it completely separated my time from the outreach process.
Dude, that's so smart. Gangster yourself. But that's only after you were in CMB. So that's how you sign clients in CMB.
Yeah.
That's gangster yourself. Yeah, I love that. That's hats off for the resourcefulness, man. That's
Thank you, man. Because I bought so many courses that I don't even look at use. I'm an avid course buyer because I just like to learn things. Like it's just like a hobby, expensive hobby. Yeah. So I just said that was my fear. Because obviously I was just like, man, what if I buy this and like it's a lot of money, man. It's, as you can, your whole legacy is proof that it's worth it, man.
Becoming more apparent every day. Now that we've come this far, we've accomplished all this stuff, which by the way, dude, pat yourself in the fucking back. That's incredible. Hell of an achievement, man, that you've made. You owe that to yourself. You put in the work, you've done the hard yards, and you're starting to reap the benefits. And so hats off to you for that, dude. So now that we've accomplished all this, we've hit the 10K a month. What's next? What does 2021 have in store for Sam? What's the road to 800 mil? You should start a podcast, call it the road to 800 mil. What's that look like for you?
The road to 800 mil. So yeah, man, I think the first level was to find a high income skill that could generate my lifestyle, right? So I'm still going to be writing for clients. I'm using my time for money, etc. Now I want to learn how to grow it. How can I separate time from money? How can I make this a bit more automated? And how can I, break this 10K ceiling by planting seeds that in my future will reap me results? So I thought about different avenues, coaching and all that stuff. And I just thought, man, I don't know how I feel about coaching because, dude, I feel like I don't want to compete with the people that got me here because I love all of you guys, man. You, Ray, Alex, I'm like, no, I can't. There's no point, you know what I mean? And dude, I write 7-figure funnels, man. I write whole funnels. I write from his opt-in page to his landing page to his free training video, high value content offer to his entire email introductory sequence to his 15-day follow-up, 30-day follow-up, end to end. I create the funnel, right? I'm the guy who writes it. I'm the guy who does it. And, I've gotten him some decent increased results, which is why he's integrated me as part of his team. Same with I've learned so much and it's cool when it starts to show. It's like all that time I put in grinding, learning copy, practicing, fucking applying skills. It's really allowed me to get it. These things changed my life, man. And I've made 5 people come into this world of copywriting because they were inspired by my story. People who've been to my place, people who've seen, what I've been through, etc.
Dude, that's amazing. Appreciate your time, dude, for sharing all that. That's really, really cool. We got a ton of incredible content for the book. We'll just have to kind of work out where to slot you in, but I'll leave that up to my team who's doing the outline, so they can work it out. Hey, I hope you found that valuable. I know Sam's story is super crazy and inspiring, but hopefully I just showed you really what's possible, as a freelance copywriter, certainly with the right help. Anyways, We actually just had a couple of spots open up in CMB. So if you're interested in learning more and potentially joining us, feel free to click the link below. If you want to learn a little bit more, just let me know a little bit more about your current situation. I'll reach out to you if I feel like we're a good fit, and we can have a chat over email, Instagram, wherever you're comfortable. Don't worry, I'm not going to hard sell you. That's not how I roll, but definitely click the link below if you're interested in learning a little bit more, and we might be seeing you inside of CMB with Sam and I very, very soon.